Agile planning offers nonprofit organizations a framework for flexibility and responsiveness in volatile and resource-constrained environments. Yet adoption within mission-driven institutions is neither automatic nor uncomplicated. Nonprofits operate within complex stakeholder ecosystems shaped by cultural resistance, limited funding, and competing accountability demands. Addressing these structural realities is essential to ensuring that adaptive planning produces sustainable and mission-aligned outcomes. Although Agile emphasizes responsiveness and iterative learning, its effectiveness depends on organizational readiness. A recurring challenge lies in the absence of a clear and shared vision. Without coherent strategic direction, Agile processes risk devolving into fragmented initiatives rather than coordinated action. Clarity of purpose anchors adaptive practice and aligns distributed efforts within a unified framework. Visual and conceptual tools that articulate long-term objectives can reinforce this alignment. Shared strategic narratives reduce the likelihood of dispersed initiatives and strengthen collective focus. When teams understand overarching mission commitments, iterative adaptation becomes disciplined rather than reactive. Insufficient stakeholder engagement constitutes another frequent barrier. Agile planning presumes continuous consultation and feedback, yet organizations may inadvertently prioritize donor compliance or internal deliberation over community dialogue. Without structured mechanisms for incorporating stakeholder perspectives, planning risks misalignment with beneficiary needs. Regular consultation forums and transparent communication channels reinforce both legitimacy and strategic relevance. Capacity limitations further constrain effective implementation. Agile methodologies require familiarity with iterative cycles, prioritization techniques, and collaborative coordination. Superficial adoption may occur when terminology is embraced without substantive behavioral change. Structured training programs, mentorship arrangements, and accessible educational resources build the competencies necessary for meaningful integration. Overcommitment presents an additional risk in high-pressure environments. Nonprofits facing urgency and scarcity may attempt to implement multiple Agile initiatives simultaneously, stretching staff beyond sustainable limits. Excessive workload compromises morale and diminishes quality. Structured goal-setting frameworks ensure that objectives remain specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Such discipline preserves organizational resilience while maintaining momentum. Resistance to change remains a predictable dimension of Agile adoption. Transitions disrupt established routines and may generate uncertainty regarding roles, authority, or stability. Transparent communication and early demonstration of tangible benefits mitigate apprehension. Resistance should be interpreted not as obstruction, but as an indicator requiring deliberate engagement. Structured change management models offer systematic guidance for navigating these transitions. Frameworks emphasizing urgency creation, coalition building, vision articulation, and incremental consolidation provide practical pathways for embedding new practices. Models focusing on individual awareness, motivation, knowledge acquisition, and reinforcement underscore the human dimension of transformation. Staged approaches that address the unfreezing of existing norms, transition to adaptive practices, and stabilization of revised routines highlight the necessity of cultural embedding. Sustaining momentum constitutes a further challenge. Initial enthusiasm may dissipate if teams experience fatigue or insufficient recognition. Recognition systems that acknowledge contributions and transparent communication that clarifies progress help preserve engagement. Continuous learning opportunities reinforce adaptive competence and professional growth. Breaking complex initiatives into manageable increments reduces cognitive overload, and protects morale. Agile cycles emphasize iterative productivity, yet sustained performance depends on maintaining well-being. Flexible scheduling and realistic workload allocation support long-term resilience. Psychological safety within teams encourages experimentation and reflective learning. Illustrative cases demonstrate how structured strategies convert potential obstacles into opportunities. Community development initiatives that visually articulated shared objectives improved alignment across diverse staff groups. Healthcare programs institutionalizing periodic consultation integrated community feedback directly into strategic recalibration. Educational projects applying structured goal setting scaled interventions incrementally while preserving quality. Government-funded initiatives managing resistance through phased change processes stabilized infrastructure reform. Agricultural programs combining training with reinforcement mechanisms strengthened adaptive practice among local stakeholders. These examples underscore that agile planning becomes effective when integrated with deliberate change management. Cultural integration is as critical as procedural design. Successful adoption requires anticipation of resistance, investment in capacity building, and reinforcement of new norms through leadership commitment. Agile frameworks must be adapted to institutional realities rather than transplanted mechanically. Human-centered leadership and incremental consolidation of progress anchor adaptive systems within enduring organizational identity. Without such anchoring, flexibility risks becoming instability. For academic inquiry, the intersection of agile methodologies with established change management theory invites deeper analysis of how adaptive planning interacts with governance structures and accountability regimes. For practitioners, integrating structured change models with agile principles offers practical strategies for overcoming resistance and sustaining morale under constraint. When supported by deliberate change management and sustained attention to human dynamics, agile planning evolves beyond procedural flexibility. It becomes a resilient strategic orientation capable of navigating uncertainty while preserving institutional coherence. By proactively addressing structural pitfalls and nurturing engagement, nonprofit organizations can embed agility as a durable element of organizational culture and sustain mission impact over time.